tractor today. Looks like we're finally getting some rain, which is a little strange. Just enough dirt on the windows to just make it a mess and not clean off the tractor. It is nice to see some rain finally, though. Not too much. Just a quick sprinkle. Maybe some on the horizon over there, don't know yet. Now we're at the end of the row. I'll turn it around here. Now we're back off. We'll turn on the trip meter here, see how many trees are in a row. Let's flip that around. Might have some more rain coming from over there, but you never know. We'll find out. So far, we're at 20 trees in this row. We got a long way to go. I'm suspecting maybe more than over 100. A little more than 100. We'll see if we make it all the way over to that side. Not sure yet. We're just prepping some rows. And then over here we have a guy taking some trees out. Cleaning up a property line because we have to put in a new deer fence this year. We're driving our Case 7220 tractor. And yes, we have John Deere steering wheel, John Deere guidance in our red tractor. GPS is working fantastic. As you can tell, we've finished this part of the field here. We're working our way that way. Doing some loops because of some longer rows that are over here to the side. Some nice fall color starting, and man, what a gorgeous fall we've had so far. We could use a little more moisture here in Michigan, but it's all right. We are at 57 trees. We might be 3/4 of the way across now. The way the wind's blowing today, the tractor's just sitting right in the dust. Spend more time using the wiper for dust than I do for the nice. What would that be? The same thing. I just said a lot of things at once. Your uncle does the same thing. What would that be? We're now up to 76 trees. We're coming up on the end of the set. Looks like our might be one more short row left after this. I think We bought this field a couple years ago, and we've had another row crop farmer do a couple cover crops in it. I think we did corn. What did they do the first year? They did corn, sunflowers, and now they did oats, and oats leaves the field pretty relatively smooth for us. So we'll flip this around. We gotta turn the tractor back, clean off the windshield so we can see. Lift our stuff up here. Disconnect the old GPS. We got one more in our loop. Does anybody have any questions, or love to answer some questions? I'm gonna put them down in the comments. You can see what's behind me. Yeah. Get her lined up here. Pop the GPS back on. And of course I forgot to check how many trees there were at the end, so that's nice. So now we're just gonna start that back over. We'll pop that in. And I didn't hit start. Perfect. We're gonna be about 10 trees shy of what it should be accurately. We'll have to start that over. So we've got from here, where the trees are, all the way to go over to that tree line. You can't see it, but there's a fence right by all the tall trees. And we're about to move that because when we put that fence up in 2015, we didn't have this piece of land that we're currently working in here. We didn't have this owned yet, so we put that fence up, and now we're gonna move it after we plant the cherry trees here to keep the deer out. The deer will just destroy cherry trees when they're newly planted. So we're gonna try and avoid that by adding on, what did we add? I think we're gonna add about a mile and a quarter of deer fence this year, which is quite a bit, in addition to, I think it's already 5 or 6 miles long. It goes around, I think it's going to be almost like a 500-acre fence. It's going to go around multiple farms for us, so that's a project we'll be working on this fall, as well as planting cherries on these exact lines that I'm working with now, loosening up the soil. So I don't know if anyone here has ever seen or been on a cherry farm before, but you can check out the other videos in the channel. Go for everything from cherries, or we just started some apples. If you want to learn more about cherry farming, then you should definitely consider subscribing to the channel so you can get those notifications when I go live again and post videos weekly, as well as shorts. They're just now getting across the field again. You can't see them, but over here's our Cat 936 loader. Tyler's over there. Yeah, you can't really tell, but we're pulling out this whole bunch of poplar trees here. And there's actually a pretty cool little old Chevy truck that someone left in the woods years and years ago, and it's abandoned. Ouch. Got our tank here. Right here in this dark spot, there was a big old group of big trees just as tall as these ones, and we ripped those out right when we bought it. And now there's kind of a big hole there, so we'll have to see we can get that smoothed out a little bit better before we put the cherries in the ground. These rows were up to 74 rows, or 74 trees. Our tree spacing, it's how it knows is we have it set at 15 feet. So you see it counts down like that. Boom, it pops back up to 15. And it fires off a signal so we know that counting how many trees lengthwise we get in the row. And then the 2 spots here and here, that's 21 feet apart. That's our row spacing that we're putting down. Again, a nice little fall day. Just ran out of coffee, unfortunately, so that's a bummer. But, yeah. Any questions? Comments? Big old pile of rock right there. That took a couple of the guys a couple trips to get that done. Spin that back around. So we gotta turn the tractor around here. We're coming up on 100 trees we just passed, so that's quite the row. And it's not even the longest one yet. I think the next time we come back this direction would be one of the longest rows on this farm. This year we're planning on, what are we planning on? Planning on planting, I think, just about 80 acres this year, which is crazy because most people aren't wanting to plant cherries right now. Most people are trying to get out of it, but we're gonna double down and see where it lands us. Back window's just covered. Just covered in dirt. Way too dusty. Sackington. Yo, can I tell racist jokes? Probably not. It's a hell of a question, though. I'll tell you what. White Gatorade, underestimated. I don't know why. The old Glacier Cherry. Everyone likes the blue, you like the red. White, it's the best. It's a hot take. And I forgot to reset the trees, so we're gonna have to find that out again. Wow, that's pretty consistently forgetting to turn that on when I turn around. Which is no bueno. Very dusty out here. It's crazy how much lack of rain that we can get up here in Michigan, while other people in the country down by the hurricanes are just getting poured on. Yeah, that's crazy. Very unfortunate for those folks, and I hope everybody's okay, but I mean, if we even took a couple inches from them to help equal some of that out, that'd be great, but we just haven't gotten it up here. It's been one of the driest years so far, which is crazy because we had a lot of moisture right off the bat in the spring. Now we're kind of whittled down to about nothing. And every time it says it's going to rain, 80-90% chance, quarter inch, just drops right off the closer it gets to you. Downstate in Michigan's getting some rain, but up here in the Traverse City area, it's no bueno. No bueno. I'll flip the camera back around a little bit here. So yes, the tractor does drive itself, which is neat. Hooks up to our monitor here. I think it's the 4630 display with the John Deere ETU. I think you can do this with almost any tractor. We have a globe up here up on the roof that connects to the satellites. Yeah, it connects to the satellite, and the tractor knows right where it's at, and we're driving straight. It looks like about 580 more feet to the end of where I've been turning around. Doesn't necessarily mean that's the distance, because this is the last short row. So it is going to get longer, especially over this way more. You can just see how dusty it is. That hood of this tractor is supposed to be red, but it's not. It's definitely brown. The Case 7220 It's our biggest tractor we have. In specialty crop farming, we don't really have a need for giant tractors, kind of like the row crop guys. We just need smaller, more compact tractors that fit down the rows. Most of our cherry orchards are, well, the more recently planted stuff is 20 feet wide, 14 feet in between. We're kind of learning that that's a bit too tight, so we're going to try and stretch that out a little bit. We're going to plant 21 feet wide and put 15 in between the trees. And hopefully that gives us a little more space to be comfortable with what we're using, because some of our equipment is a 15-foot mower. So after the trees start to grow, we put some irrigation down, and you'd be surprised how often people clip the trickle line on the ground, and it makes a huge mess under the tractor. But we just got to the end here, so we're gonna turn this bad boy back around. This should be one of the longest rows, so I will not forget this time to start the distance trip. Okay, we'll do this, and as soon as we put this down, boom. Okay. I think we're actively tracking correctly this time, which is nice. I think this is my second live stream, first one from the tractor. First one I did while we were picking apples, showing our apple boxes. That farm is actually directly behind us here. This field is split kind of right in half of the 80 acre. It's actually a 120 acre piece, but it's kind of split right in half of farmable land. Some of the stuff up front here is too low, so we're not going to be able to farm it. We're clearing out and taking out trees of what we can. And so we're going to have cherries on this side where I'm currently working the ground, and then behind me there's a low valley. And then the other side of that, we are going to plant apples in 2026. Those trees are going to come out of our nursery. We do grow all of our own trees on the farm here. We can grow them for about half the price as it would be to buy our fruit trees from a nursery. So that's really nice. We got some talented employees that do all of the grafting and budding. We just buy the rootstock and it gets delivered, and we plant it, set up all of our own irrigation, and take care of all of that. If you want to see any of that, there is a video on the channel, multiple videos of our nursery. We just planted 10,000 M106 rootstocks that we are turning into 3 different varieties of apples, with regular Honeycrisp, Oneida Red, and what was the last one? Ambrosia, which we all got from a couple of our own farms, and then a neighbor let us cut some of the new growth off of a tree, which then we chip bud off of that for our own nursery. So that's really cool. You can check out those videos. That's in the long form content on the Homes and Stones channel page. We started that probably back this spring when we planted the rootstock. So that's an ongoing process. The buds are taken and healed over, and now it's going to wait a year for that bud to kind of grow into a new tree. And then we are going to cut off that M106 rootstock and let that new bud that turned out just a leaf, it'll be, and eventually it'll grow into a branch, and then we'll cut that branch, and all of the energy, all of the vigor from the trunk and the roots will shoot that branch out and turn it into a tree for us. We'll let that grow for another year after all that happens, and then we will pull it up and plant it in another spot here in this field. So that's exciting. We have, I don't even know, it's got to be over 30,000 trees this year that we're going to put in the ground for the 80 acres of apples. It's getting bumpy right here. This one spot where we pulled out all those stumps and those trees earlier this year. Joe McCumber missed the tractor snaps. now we've moved on from tractor snaps to tractor YouTube live feeds. So we got that going for us. It looks like I'm just about out of what I'm injecting into the soil. Bigger and better things. We're moving on, moving up. If I was really thinking, I should have been YouTubing back when I was sending tractor snaps and we were in college. I could have been way ahead of the game. Way ahead of the game. And now I'm just trying to play catch up with all the famous row crop guys. Yeah, the tractor snaps and the tractor streams. I used to stream Farming Simulator on Xbox. That was quite the stage too. And I guess I grew up and now I just do live streams and play golf. Aggressively subpar at golf, I will say. Aggressively average is what most would describe me. Can't drive worth a pinch of shit, but the short game is elite. Elite. I got the Phil Mickelson flop shot. And there it is, folks. I've just now ran out of stuff I'm injecting, so that means we're gonna have to go fill up again. So unfortunately, that's going to require me to get out of the tractor and do some things here. So we're going to have to cut the live stream. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Joe, it's good to hear from you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. You, Shelby, and the dog. Beautiful day here this fall. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll catch you next time.